So I was getting ready to exit this R train. They quickly locked the door on 71st Avenue. That's the last stop here in Queens. And the camera at the platform recorded because, the door was open. And so I was getting close to the door, they locked the door. And even the train conductor had to squeeze himself through. Had to. The train conductor was also close to the door. They open one door with this key, which is never I was to get close to the door. Whoever loved the person, there is technical talks. They're doing a shift and the for the first. So that was the doors was left open. Whereas the train conductor was coming far down this way, towards this way. So as soon as I was able to get to the door, the train conductor was coming again, and the door would have been closed. So they had to use this key, to open just one door. The last door, yeah. I always try to get using the bathroom, I think one of the conductors were getting here. One of the conductors was saying we're being delayed by a medical emergency. So they always try to get me angry. They say that's the best way. If you don't like somebody, make them snap. In American term, make them angry. Call the police to arrest them, and the police can either kill them or go and wrongfully put them in the psych ward. So they've been killing a lot of this NYPD has been killing a lot of blacks here in New York by taking them to the psych ward wrongfully, and they met out the worst abuse on these blacks because crazy people don't really have rights. So nobody once they call you crazy, this abuse you to death. Nobody will really value your life until the court or the jury. This is how my mother's daughters killed them. In 2015, my mother was saying they were part of an inheritance scam gang that does drugs and sells drugs, like a narcotic terrorist gang, Columbia, Florida, and Pittsburgh, and Pennsylvania. And so my mother was saying they were trying to kill her because my mother has assets like she has properties in different countries, like in Africa, my mother said they were trying to take her, steal her stuff, at one point, the daughters, the line was washing her food with a pot and face poison. And also, my mother was potentially got a lot of money in the United States. Everybody had wrongfully taken my mother's home. On Staten Island, and Arizona was helping us with the property first, and then NYPD when I took Arizona down. So that's how it reported. My mother's case was a very good case. That was easily born. I was taken almost Staten Island, and NYPD removed us without a court papers, and the court has been ruling since 1960. Even the U.S. Supreme Court, which is the highest court in the land, has ruled in 1960 the case in San Francisco, and the police can't just subject to, saying, this is a basement apartment, so you have to, it's a tent, and when I met Arizona in 2014, on where they killed them, I met him and simply for the police in there, and killed him after Arizona. So, it's talking the same thing, like the tenants have rights in America, the police have to take them home. I told them from Nigeria, so it doesn't matter. I told them what's going to happen with my property first. So I was under immigration surveillance then because I've been crazy. Close to that time period, my mother brought me here from Nigeria and I was arrested and saying, children are not welcome in America. My mother had a brain cancer and saying, I live for the immigration line, I had a visa. That's what was. So they've been lying. If close to that time also, my mother gave me money to give to the immigration to apply for a new green card. The immigration stole that money. Senator Hillary Clinton my mother contacted our Clinton's offices, the Senate of Europe, and to write what I did, and finally, after I got my green card in 2008, the mail that was the money order back to me, even though they lied, so they lied a lot, their government, and their police lied a lot. So these people, instead of the president, it's crazy, this and that. So that's what I try to do. Anytime I use, like when I was using the bathroom on November 14, 2025, the police invaded the bathroom, said I stole something. And, I was beating, slamming on the floor. In 2015, my mother was killed at one brother here. And she screamed that it's crazy because she said that's the best way to get out of homelessness. And playing myself crazy to get an apartment fast. And my mother's daughter said, Polani. So that's why she framed my mother up. That's crazy. While my mother was getting treated for heart disease, in Bellevue Hospital. So that she died at my mother was so that doctors. I was in fracture actually, then the guardian be able to get money to taking care of my mother as a whole thing. So that Bolali was out of work and she had a drug problem. And at that time, New York had introduced a program that, people that family members their money taken care of. So that brother I always wanted to go to the next. So she thought so my mother was crazy. We were gonna feed her so she could stay abroad. Crazy mother. So my mother was just a teacher. My mother just was in trouble. So my mother knew that was the scheme and my mother was so angry. One of the hospital. So putting my mother in the psych ward hopefully. That only speaks with American English. She was born in America. My mother speaks English. And my mother got so angry. The doctor wouldn't believe me. So my mother ended up dying. Sometimes they use force. Trying to force her to the psych ward, psychiatric ward, and refuse to go. Use force. I really hospital force. And the woman raised up her sister Flora. Even though this bride confessed to me that she said another, and the idea has been monitoring my phone since I had an education case for 25 years. So, and now the Abdullah is part of a gang, and they believe, and even the government here believes that they can just get me killed, that Bolali and my sister will inherit my property. I'm a Nigerian and I'm gay, so I was born a man, I'm not a woman, I don't have any child, I don't have any marriage partners. I believe they would rather have me killed and have this Bolali who has an American citizenship to inherit my family and share with the American gang, drug gang she's part of. And this has hope to erase me like a real genocide. And even this Trump has been hinting that he doesn't want people from third world countries that don't have Western values. So this Bolali speaks American English. So he's been hinting, they said that's his latest post on the social truth media. This, say immigrants that don't have Western type, qualities is going to deport all of them. So they make fun of my accent here in America, say, I speak with a fake American English and stuff. My mother, even though she was a naturalized citizen, she couldn't speak American English. So this Trump said they're going to be deporting immigrants that don't have Western values. So, and since then, the police came and arrested me, lied on me that I stole something, I didn't steal nothing on November 14th, 2025, and slammed me on the floor. So they told me I have to appear in court. So, so they're just, trying to get rid of us. So I believe this Trump, they said he said this like 24, 48 hours ago on his Twitter and social media, but I believe his fellow racists. They've been talking about this because even as soon as he became president in 2017, the U.S. Congress people said they called them to a secret meeting and told the U.S. Congress that he wants them to pass the new law that will enable him to be able to deport him from African countries. At that time, I was suing the police and I was suing the hospital for the way my mother was killed in the hospital and for the way the police took my home, killed my very brother. And this Trump started putting his immigration officers in the court, you know, and they said they were wrongfully arresting immigrants. I was a permanent resident there, so I was even afraid of going to court for my lawsuit against the police. And this Trump finally agreed that that he wants to deport all the immigrants that don't have Western type values, and I believe so. So me and my mother, because we speak with a foreign accent, it's hard for us to get justice in America. My mother bought a house in Brooklyn, 1970s. When she traveled to Nigeria, somebody stole that house. And she was trying to get the authorities here to help her arrest the person so that, while she was homeless and stuff, it would happen. If my brothers were in trouble and now she's dead. Even now, I get jumped by my mother's gang, my mother's daughter's gang, but I went for her. Even in this train facility, if I dare try to use the bathroom, they'll come to the bathroom. Even they bring an African woman, she'll tell me she wants to enter the store with me, or she wants to keep her stuff in the toilet. So I said, why are you always menacing me when I'm in the bathroom? And sometimes she shows me body naked. I think they're just trying to drag me crazy. I was born in male, now I'm a woman, just trying to kill me assaulting. One day, I came here on Sunday, and they always attack me the most on Sundays, like the religious cult also, or they're mocking my Christianity. So I always come here on Sunday because my mother said a prophet TV Joshua told her that I have a great destiny, I'm going to be somebody important. So they were married. My mother went to Nigeria in 2003, or 4 rather, to pray because she had a heart problem and Joshua healed the heart problem. So I believe they think if they kill me, they can then give all the money to my mother's daughters to inherit. And because under the law, since I don't have a child, I'm not married, my siblings and other family will be the ones to inherit the property. I think some money for the kidney, and they believe they can win a whole lot of money, and they would then inherit the money. As a matter of fact, they said, in America there's something called parenting by stopper, and I believe they're trying to make me look like I came to America to become Michael Jackson. They said Michael Jackson before he died wanted to adopt children from the world. And they said under American law, if you claim somebody has a wish to adopt children, even if the person is dead, they can then have my mother's daughter adopt children from me post-mortem, and then have those children control my estate. And the parents would, and she could co-parent those kids, with, I marry other people here in America to co-parent those kids, and they believe they can then do a destiny swap. Because my mother said when I was young, some prophet told her that some people were trying to do a destiny swap on me because they saw that I had a great destiny, some spiritualists. So in Africa, there's something called destiny swap, where people would do voodoo and try to take other people's destiny. It's just like so this is just, but usually they don't use physical violence. They'll just use voodoo and whatever. And in African voodoo, there's a belief that you can curse somebody and take their destiny, but they don't use violence. They just put a voodoo curse on the person, and the person will just start misbehaving, start getting into legal troubles, and the person will just end up dying. And then the person that did the voodoo will believe they've successfully spiritually killed that person off, and their destiny, they've taken that destiny. But here in America, they're using physical violence to try to kill me. It's not just with voodoo. They set me up all the time. When I'm using the bathroom, they'll call the police on me, say I've just stole something. November 14, 2025. And my mother's daughter's birthday is August 14. And on November 14, 2025, the police arrested me, said, somebody said I stole something. So the police are working with my mother's daughter's gang. My mother said that Bolale is part of a narcotic gang. And I sued the police before I said when they came to remove me and my mother roughly from my home, me and my mother's home. they they searched me naked, so I sued them for sexual harassment. And then Ghana was helping with that lawsuit in 2014 and the person I took him there. And even Ghana's daughter was remarking how the police was laying on top of her father and choking him like a sexual arouser. And there was allegation that that police officer that was laying on top of Eric Garner choking him, he's had multiple complaints that he likes to touch black people's penis when he's arrested them on Staten. There's been allegations like that against that officer Pantelio. I don't know how to pronounce him so good. He's an Italian American. Even before he killed Eric Garner, And now this police came on November 14th, 2025 to arrest me when I'm looking at the bathroom. They were touching my penis and they were looking for. So it's like they want to aggravate me to death. And that 14 carries consonants or carries I don't know how to say the right word. Carries a similarity with February 14th and Valentine's Day. So they're talking on November 14th. So and they refused to do a rape kit because they were touching my penis. Touching my sexual organ. I told them that would be a good picture of myself. And they injured my genitals and they were looking for the stolen phone. And they were grabbing my body part, they were touching my knee and my back with 11%. So that's a rape and unlawful attack and arrest like that. They said they did it to another immigrant, Abdul Wimmer. The police arrested him, took him to the bathroom and raped him with a stick and left his anus bloody. And they couldn't charge them with rape, so they only charged them with sex abuse. Because at that time, anus was considered a sex organ. But now, an anus is considered a sex organ, and I was using I was using the bathroom, and they knew I was using the bathroom. And when they came there to scare me, they first sent the janitor. She was saying, she wants to clean. I have to quickly leave. So she was going to call the police. She was acting like she was cleaning. I was like, you're supposed to clean at 12. Every time I come here, you always lie that I have to leave quickly. You want to do something about it. You always threaten me that you're going to get the police to arrest me. And then they brought this janitor on November 14, 2012, and she was saying stuff like this, a long line of people waiting. So I quickly came out of the bathroom, to check. There was a long line, and there was no long line. There was an extra stall vacant. So when I was trying to go back in, that's when the police came in. Said, no, you're not going back in. We also, we heard you stole something. I'm like, excuse me, why are you all making up lies? And they beat me. So they were forcefully controlling my anus through intimidation. And they said, any forceful contact with somebody's anus is not considered rape. Because, a good analogy or similarity would be if somebody pulled a gun on a woman, say, and tell the woman to masturbate with a dildo. Say, here's a dildo. I'm going to shoot you. Start masturbating with a dildo. And the woman was masturbating with a dildo. That's still rape. Even though the person didn't touch the dildo, but when you forcefully control someone's vagina, that's a rape. So I was trying to use the bathroom and they were harassing me, making up lies. First the janitor came, said she wants to leave, that there's a long line of people waiting and there was no long line. And the police came as I was trying to go back into the bathroom. Said, no, you can't go back. We heard you stole a cell phone, you're hiding in the bathroom. So they were forcefully controlling my anus without my acquiescence. So those places, and it came on November 14, 2025. And sometimes when they bother me like that, I will end up defecating them again or having an accident. Because they won't let me, and the bathroom closes early now. They used to leave the bathroom up to 24/7. Now they close at 7 p.m. open at 7 a.m. So I have diarrhea. So they were trying to forcefully control my anus. It's sex abuse and it's rape when they intention bring a gun and everything. And and they always to force me to leave America. The city shop has now admitted that it doesn't want people from third world countries, especially if they don't have Western values. And I think part of the Western, this Trump said they should be deporting people from third world countries that don't have Western values. So people that have accents like me and my late mother, they're targeting us. My mother had a US passport. She was a natural US citizen. I had a green card. They stole it from me. Once I locked me up in the cycle in 2019, made up a lie against me. A guy slapped my hair. While I was begging for money, I told him, can you stop slapping my hair? And then the police came and then the police came and knocked me down in 2019, said, I was fighting the guy. I said, the guy was a white guy. And they said, guy slapped my hair. I said the police cameras was recording it. That day was July 20th, 2019. There was a police camera across the street from me recording it on Bay Ridge Avenue at 4th Avenue. And the police stopped me that chocolate watch on the side. You know, I guess because I have a foreign accent, they wouldn't believe that the guy really slapped my hair. You know, roughly, I didn't know him from a hole in the wall. You know, and things like that. They said, any interaction between a black person generally and the police always end up fatal or very abusive for the black person. There's been black people that called 911, that's the emergency number, and ended up getting killed. So and me as a foreigner, there's a lot of foreigners that say the NYPD doesn't really help foreigners, discriminate against foreigners because of our accent. So I'm trying to go upstairs to the bathroom. I'm just recording it because, while I was on the train conductor was saying there's a medical emergency. We have to go as we're approaching the station. So I don't know if they're just trying to scare me and really attack me for real in the bathroom, because they always bring people to fight me in the bathroom, and then the police would then arrest me, and they've been threatening that they're going to lie on me that I'm doing drugs in the bathroom and kill me with a taser. So sometimes when I'm using the bathroom to bring the police, I say they see smoke. I'm like, there's no smoke. I'll be recording. I tell them, just get out of here, just make it a place so that you won't use that time. So they did that to me on DeKalb Avenue, train station Brooklyn. So they're trying to scare me out of America by harassing me in the bathroom, and this Trump is encouraging that behavior. I believe they've been planning this for many years now in their inner circle. This Trump is friends with the NYPD and FBI. So in their inner circle, he's been telling the bosses of this NYPD that let's get rid of these immigrants by lying on them or by frustrating them. So now he admitted on his own social media 24 hours ago that people from third world countries that don't have Western values should be deported. He wants to deport all of us. So my mother had a Nigerian accent for the US passport. They lied on her and killed her. I'm a Nigerian with a foreign accent in Warsaw. They always lie on me when I'm using the bathroom, trying to kill me. So this is not just deportation. Trying to kill people, that happen to be foreign and are from third world countries. So this is like a genocide. So this Trump finally admitted yesterday that he wants to remove people from third world countries that don't have Western values. And by Western values, I mean, I believe people that have foreign accents, like my dead mother, they have already killed her, lied on her and killed her, in 2015. And me also, they lie on me every time, and the police trying to kill me also. So please donate to my Cash App NYC Homeless so I can get a housing. I could go get my own housing. Stay away from this. I've been trying to get the shelters they want to put me in is one that you have to share the bathroom, and that's when they also attack me, the public bathroom. So I've been telling them I need a private bathroom, the shelter with a private bathroom, because I'm a victim of hate and human trafficking. My green card has been stolen. My mother's brother also joined me in stealing. So with my immigration document, as my mother was getting my immigration document for me in her own story before she died, and the brothers after the brother went and stole all that storage for her. So this was going on. And so please, I'm looking for an unconditional financial donation. I'm not looking for marriage with anyone. I'm not looking for anyone to adopt a child for me. I'm not looking to create a child with anyone. I'm not looking for any surrogacy. So some people have been approaching me with all kinds of weird requests. I told them no. In 2020, they locked up on the bathroom in the train station. They said because of COVID. And I was begging people on the train to let me use the bathroom in the house. And the guy hours later finally told me I could come to his house to use the bathroom. Then when we got to his house in the Bronx, he told me we have to have sex and get married for me to use the bathroom. I told him no, and he held me there. The captivity raped me, said if I ever leave, he's going to kill. So he asked me to kill on the street. And he was punching me, beating me, left my face bloody until I had to call the police to free me. And they wouldn't even arrest him, and they just threw me out of his house, couldn't arrest him either. So they abusing immigrants like me. Anytime I try to use the bathroom, they ambush me. The police on November 14, 2025, I was trying to use the bathroom on Chambers Street. It's like a white area. They say it's one of the most expensive neighborhoods in New York City and the world. It's called Tribeca. They say an apartment there costs like $1 million. They have some of their famous stars that live there. So anytime I go to that neighborhood, they always call the police on me. And and that's it. They don't want me as a black person in that neighborhood. There used to be Africans that sell stuff in stores there. I go to school there. They have a community college there called Borough of Manhattan Community College. And because it's a cheap school, a lot of their students are blacks.
So but it's really a majority white area. But a lot of the students in that school are blacks. Even PDD went to that school. So anytime they see me in that area as an African, they call the police on me. Some black Americans in the park in that area, Washington Market Park, they also call the police on me. Especially after this, Eric Adams said that the foreigners are come to this, and the foreign immigrants